Hello dear World of Warcraft friends, welcome back to a new video on my channel. We are in week 4 of the Omnium Folio, which means you can earn your 4th upgrade. In this video, we'll take a look at what you need to do for the quest line, and I've even discovered a way for you to not have to do anything at all. You simply go to the vendor, buy an item, and the quest is basically completed. So, the lazy way, and of course, we'll also take another look at how things are going with the talent points this week. But I have to say, this week it's relatively easy when it comes to that. Nevertheless, let's take a look at it. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want to support me. After 10 summer months, we're slowly heading back toward 38,000. Remember, when we reach this goal, there will be a big giveaway. So you're not just doing something for me. Something good, but also for a community member, so let's go. All in all, week 4 is pretty simple. You have to go up here to the island of Keldanas again. There you can accept the quest. Done. This week you will be asked to get a prime essence of magic. And you can get it from a final dungeon or deep depths boss, the Sporefall raid, or the illustrious contenders strongbox. And that's actually the only way you can get this item without really lifting a finger. We'll take a look at where you can get this thing in a moment, but yeah, in the end, it's pretty simple. This week, you either have to defeat a dungeon boss. And to be honest, I haven't been able to verify it directly yet because it only went live for us yesterday on the American servers, whether it also drops from the Mythic Plus chest. So, if you know more about it, unfortunately I couldn't test it because of work, feel free to write it in the comments, either a Deep Depths boss or the Sporefall raid. So in the end, I would probably just say if you're playing solo, just run any delve. Based on what I've seen, there isn't a tier restriction. That means you can just walk in somewhere at tier 1, blast through it quickly, and loot the item at the end, or you can go through at a higher tier to farm things. You can do it however you like, it's totally up to you, but ideally it should be faster than defeating a dungeon boss. Even if it's a Mythic Plus drop, you still have to get through it first. But here, the wording is specifically about a dungeon end boss. And the bosses in Mythic Plus don't drop any loot, only the chests. Alternatively, you could also say you're doing a follower dungeon. That should usually work as well. Otherwise, as you just saw, you can basically buy the whole thing from the vendor as well. For that, you need to go to Silvermoon here at coordinates 3481 at the PvP vendors. Not that I've really had much to do with PvP myself, but that's where you'll find all these quartermasters. And you want to go to Captain Demerflucht, the quartermaster for honor points. Because if you scroll down a bit here, you'll see that he offers the coffer of the exalted rival. And in fact, the essence you need is also included there. It's included, and as you can see here, it costs 3,500 honor. If you don't have any, I already have it, so 0 honor, then of course that's not really any faster. As you can see here, I've collected a grand total of 26 honor on my characters during this expansion. But if you're someone who's done quite a bit of PvP so far and regularly bashed heads with people, then you might have enough left over and can buy it. Keep in mind, you can also transfer honor across your warband. You only lose 20 of it, that's basically the fee. But if you say, my god, I don't need anything from honor, yeah, maybe in the end it's a time saver of 10 or 15 minutes, but in the end, time is precious, and if you can save yourself a bit, why not? So just buy this box once, and then you're done with the quest. You just have to accept the quest at the top, fly to Silvermoon once, and then come back to turn it in. So, I don't know, maybe use a Hearthstone or something else to travel around a bit faster. And yeah, that just leaves the question about the 4th point, which is pretty self-explanatory this time. You get Rune of Critical Power, Burning Tempo, Masterful Cunning, or Versatile Warrior. Each of them gives you 78 of a secondary stat when your core rune is activated. That means every time this triggers, like right here for example, I cast a heal spell and now my orbs fly away. At that moment, this effect would be triggered and I get 78 mastery, crit, or whatever. Now I've collected the next orb, I cast the next spell, and the orb flies away again. So you could say, you usually collect these orbs every 10 seconds and the effect lasts for 10 seconds. That means you can actually keep this buff up permanently. For DPS, it's generally better to take this Rune of Unleashed Fire, and whenever it shoots down at an enemy, you also get secondary stats, and that's the important part. It can overlap because I think it can proc a bit more often. That means if you have it running once and then the rune triggers a second time, you'll have one stack that might last another 2 seconds, and the next rune is already on its way. I think you'll never be able to have more than 2 stacks of it active at the same time. Unless it doesn't count these runes as being triggered just once, but as 5 times, then you'd have 5 stacks of it. That would be pretty sick again. But honestly, I have to say I haven't found any logs or sims yet where this has been gone through in detail. I find the whole thing very, very interesting, and I'll definitely test it again. Otherwise, it could at least be that at the start of the fight, when you've collected these 5 orbs, this is actually pretty strong. But, well, what you want to take here in the end is the stat that's best for you. So, for example, on my Balanced Druid, I'll definitely take Mastery. Here on the Healing Shaman, it's simply crit. If you look here with 532 crit, I get 11.57%. And, so overall, that's about, I don't know, 1.5 crit or something like that. Doesn't sound like much, but you have to keep that in mind. If everyone in a dungeon or in a raid with 20 players, if everyone gets a few more % secondary stat on top, that's already a decent boost for the group. That's why this week there's already a decent power boost. I think for my Balanced Druid, I calculated it gives about 3 more mastery, which for me means 3 more damage. So yeah, that's actually not bad. With that, have fun trying it out, good luck, and see you in the next video. Have a great time and take care.